the little experience that I had in the car, I think speaks to, just gives us a small picture of what these men and women in uniform face every day. You know, we think about some of the obvious things when they put their lives in danger, but being in a car all day, it could be high speed, who knows what it could be, and I think we ought to give all these cadets a round of applause. Months ago, gosh, during the campaign, Dylan, right? I met Dylan at the Country Music Fest, and he told me this was his dream, so it was really cool to walk in and see somebody that I met months ago that's out doing this and wants to protect this city. So thank you. Thank all of you. The budget passed unanimously. It passed unanimously thanks to the leadership of our council president and to all of the members of council. We all have built relationships and recognize the biggest and highest priorities of the city of Jacksonville. Over the course of the campaign, and even since the campaign, I spent a lot of time listening. And what I heard from people and continue to hear from people is the highest concerns of citizens of Jacksonville is the safety of their people, the safety of their children, and the future of their children. To that end, I'm working with the sheriff. Mike and I have built a fantastic relationship, committed in the campaign, and I'm committed now to making sure that the organization has the resources to make sure that Jacksonville is a safe city. My experiences in the campaign in Grand Park, when I was walking a neighborhood, and I had a number of neighbors, moms, dads, kids tell me about a shooting they had experienced the night before right there on their street. Since the campaign, Sheriff organized a walk in Eureka Gardens, and I heard from those parents and those children that they needed programs, they needed parks, they needed things for their children to do so they could feel safe and be busy. To that end, this budget starts with funding 40 police officers and funding and bringing back 40 community service officers. Mike and I have spent a lot of time talking about what's outside of the enforcement piece, and that's prevention and intervention. To be clear, Mike will tell you that more police officers and community service officers is also about prevention and intervention, because it gives these men and women time to be in the community versus being stretched thin from call to call, which has happened in recent years. We also have spent a lot of time talking about investing in at-risk youth. In fact, we've had a number of sessions with at-risk youth, and we hear a whole host of stories. Some of these young folks are at risk because of what they've been exposed to, but they're doing the right thing every day. They're just in the middle of temptation. Some of these folks have actually maybe crossed the line, but they want to know that we care about them and that there's a better future. That's why the budget increases funding for the Jacksonville Journey by 100%. This is a statement to the youth in this city and to everyone in this city that we care about children deeply, and every child ought to have the exact same opportunity that my kids have. Infrastructure. Significant investment in infrastructure. We've seen it's been neglected in recent years. There's no better example than yesterday when I was pulling into the Jack's USA luncheon around the Hyatt. Can't pull in right there on Coastline Drive. Liberty Street has collapsed. That is a symbol of the neglect that we've had in recent years. Those days are gone. Working with the council president and council, we funded fully repair and fix Liberty Street and Coastline Drive, and we're going to continue to build out the necessary infrastructure projects for our city in the years ahead. I'm proud to tell you that we do all of this without raising taxes, and we pay down tens of millions of dollars in debt. Everybody can clap. The challenges that we faced when I took office were numerous. Institutions and processes that have been in place to make government run smoothly, where the citizens have been ignored and neglected. I'm here to tell you that those days are gone. But let me be clear about something. Sure, we're celebrating that we passed a balanced budget without a lot of drama. But we have a lot of work to do. So we're not spiking the ball. This isn't a victory lap that says, look how great we are. We have a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work to do. I've spent time talking to the council president, the vice president, members of council, the sheriff. We understand what's ahead of us, and we're committed to being one city, one Jacksonville, and making this a place where everybody can enjoy the quality of life that they ought to. Now I have the honor of introducing someone that I've gotten to know. I got to know Mike over the course of the campaign. Folks commonly refer to us as each other in public. We haven't quite figured out how that happens, but it happens a lot. I still get it. I was in a gas station last week and some guy said, "Sheriff." I said, walked over, I said, "Mayor." He said, "Oh, come on." He turned around and you've had a similar experience. So, look, there is no better person to be in this role right now. Mike is a good man. I've gotten to know him as a person, as a professional, but also as a person with a really big heart. So it's my great honor to introduce the Sheriff, Mike Williams.
Just briefly, I was at the Jaguar game, and some people invited me to come over and say, "Hey, can you come speak to us for a minute?" I said, "Sure, not a problem." So I come over, and they're like, "Hey, we voted for you." I said, "Yeah, that's great. Can we take a couple pictures?" I said, "Sure, no problem." So we take some pictures, and I said, "Guys, I got to run." They're like, "Well, Mr. Mayor, thanks for stopping by." I said, "Thank you, not a problem." So I said, "Hey, you got some fans down the block there." So, hey, I'll be very brief, but today is about, as the mayor said, it's about a first step. It's not a victory lap. It is not spiking the ball. We do realize we have work to do. This is a great first step into getting us back to where we need to be. We talk a lot about 2011, and in that year we had murder totals as low as they've been since 1970. We had violent crime down to a 40-year low. And when you look at that, some things that we're missing today, or that are missing today, from what we had in place in 2011, one was the 147 officers that we talked about a lot during the campaign. Obviously, we've moved to restore 40 of those and 40 of the CSOs back in this budget. We had the 92 CSOs that are, that were completely gone. Again, we're going to get 40 of those back this year in the budget. And as the mayor mentioned, we have the Jacksonville journey up and running. And it really, truly does take a comprehensive plan that includes prevention, intervention, and enforcement. You've got to cover all three phases of that to really fight crime long-term in a community. And we are talking a lot at JSO about long-term solutions to fighting violent crime and ending some of the challenges that have plagued too many of our neighborhoods for too long. So this is, again, a great first step. I'm excited about it. The staff at the Academy is excited about it. I'm excited to see you guys, out there ready to go, looking good. So, and we'll see many more. We're going to hire 200 people in the next 20 months. Part of that, so a lot of that obviously is attrition, but we've got a lot of work to do out here in recruiting and selection and training, but we're up for the challenge and we're ready to do that. So again, a great first step, a good day today, and thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheriff. And those of you that have been watching, and most of you in this room have over recent years, you cannot do any of this without teamwork. So we have a council president that from the beginning came with institutional knowledge. He's been on council, committed to spending time with me, being proactive. Not only do we meet regularly, he has an open door. We talk when we need to. And that's why this budget passed so smoothly. And I can tell you that's one of the reasons we're going to solve the problems of the day and the years ahead. So please welcome Greg Anderson.
Happy to be here with you all. First of all, I want you to know, recruits, when I walked out there, I thought you looked spectacular. I walked up some of the officers, and they said it was all about leadership. So you've got great leaders here. The second thing I'd like to do is introduce you to our team, to the council, and I'll make sure I've got everybody. So Councilman Beckton, Carter, Dennis, Boyer, Brochet, Mr. Gaffney, and Mr. Bowman. So those are your hardworking council members. We have a couple members of the finance team here, including Vice Chair Brochet. Good afternoon, Mayor, Sheriff, City officials. On behalf of your City Council, I am pleased to be with you today as we celebrate our first budget together. This budget addresses many of the key elements of a thriving community. Things like public safety and infrastructure. The budget increases investments for our roads and our sidewalks, drainage systems, And this is all as we seek to catch up on deferred maintenance. Let me give you a few examples. The budget allows the sheriff to increase his force by $1.6 million for new officers and CSOs. Y'all know that, and y'all are part of it. Thank you very much. But an increase in force alone is not enough, and you heard the mayor talk about the increase in the Jacksonville Journey programs. That's a $3 million increase. The budget also does include improvements for Coastline Drive that will transform part of our downtown that has been blighted into one of the most beautiful areas of downtown. It will change the face of downtown. It also addresses quality of life issues such as funding for UF Shands and our cultural activities. The budget increases operating hours for your libraries that had been cut during the economic recession. And it makes the first extra payment towards the unfunded pension liability. In closing, there's a proverb that says, if you take care of the pennies, you won't have to worry about the dollars. Let me tell you that the City Council is taking care of the pennies. And we this Finance Committee went through the budget line by line. And we have got a really great product together with the mayor. I also want to thank Councilman Gulliford and Vice Chairman Brochet. Councilman Gulliford is a skilled leader, and he led this whole group through the finance hearings this past summer. With that, I thank you very much for having me here, and congratulations. I look forward to signing the budget.
Thank you, and let me just thank Dr. Robinson and the college for having us here today, for doing this for our community and for our city. This is a real treasure, so thank you. Let's sign. It's right here. First budget.
We got extras. We got extras.
All right, one city, one Jacksonville.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. We'll do some media avails out.